in general, if we have n lattice point, then tetrahedral voids will be 2n and octahedral voids will be n. This is something we know. But not all octahedral or tetrahedral voids are occupied normally, because normally the formula is not xy. If it is like this, for example, in case of a body centered, then it means in the body one and from the corners one. But what happens in reality that not all octahedral and tetrahedral voids are occupied. So in a given compound, the fraction of octahedral or tetrahedral void that are occupied depends upon the chemical formula. So for example, the chemical formula is something like that, AB2 or A2B3, like this. It means not all octahedral or tetrahedral voids are occupied in that case. So related to that, how will you solve that type of question? And questions are easy. Atoms of element B form HCP lattice, and those of the element A occupy 2/3 of the tetrahedral void. So see here, A is not forming the lattice. Lattice is formed by B, and A are in which voids? Tetrahedral voids. So normally, if you say, you will say, assuming we have n atoms of element B. You will always assume the elements of that particular element which is forming the lattice. So here B is forming the lattice. You will assume that it has atoms n. Then tetrahedral voids will be 2n, but only 2/3 of these are occupied. It means number of atoms of A will be 2/3 of tetrahedral voids. That is 2/3 of 2n. If any point is not clear, just let me know. Okay. So it means B, you have n atoms. A, you have 4/3n atoms. Calculate the ratio. A is to B. That will be the formula. Many students have given me the answer. Okay. Ashi, okay, correct. Uh, Sohani, correct. Okay. Now, a few wrong answers are there. And just see why wrong answers are there. The reason is you have swapped A and B. You have to write the ratio of A is to B. Formula will always be like this, A, B. So it means it will be A 4/3n is to B, B is n. So you multiply, it means it is 4/3 is to 1. You divide by n and then multiply by 3. 4 is to 3. You know ratios, if you multiply by same number, if you divide by same number, ratios remain same. So here you divided by n, both 4/3 is to 1. Then you multiplied both by 3, 4 is to 3, means the formula will be A4B3, not A3B4. Yes, Shashwat, Dev, Shivangi, correct. Understand all the points, what we talked about. In reality, the question could have been that we have n lattice points and all other A are in tetrahedral void. Then it would have been n is to 2n, that is AB2. But not all tetrahedral voids are occupied. Only 4/3 of these ones. Okay. A is in tetrahedral void. So I'm going back just to correct it. Suppose this was Bn and A are in tetrahedral void means 2n. Then the formula would have been A to B. But here because A not all, rather only 2 by third of tetrahedral voids are occupied, so 4 by 3. So now A is to B is 4 by 3n is to n. Next, the number of tetrahedral voids formed is equal to twice the number of atoms of B, and only 2 by third of these are occupied by the atoms. Sorry, it is this one. A compound formed by elements A and B has a cubic structure in which A atoms are at the corners. A atoms are at the corners of the cube and B atoms are at the faces. So at corner, contribution 8 into 1 by 8, that is 1. At faces, contribution 6 into 1 by 2, 3. So many correct answers. Shivangi, Preeta, correct. Shashwat, think again. Shivangi, yes. Tuhina, Ashi, Suhani, correct. So it's only faces. B are or at only faces. So only faces, it means it will be 6 faces multiplied by half, 3. It means this is A, this is B at faces. Formula will be A is to B equals to 1 is to 3. That is A, B, 3. Yes, Sudipta Devvanna, correct. So for example, AlCl3. Formula will be AB3. Next question. An ionic compound made up of atoms A and B has a face-centered cubic arrangement in which atoms A are at the corners and atoms B are at the face centers. So till here it is the same question, which was the earlier one. But if one of the atoms is missing from the corner, what is the simplest formula of the compound? Now again, for A, contribution at corners. And at corners, one atom out of 8 is missing. It means you won't write 8 into 1 by 8. You will write 7 into 1 by 8. That is the contribution. Contribution by one corner is 1 by 8 atom. But there are only 7 corners on which atoms are present. So contribution will actually be 7 by 8. For B, it is contribution at faces, all faces. How many faces? 6. Contribution at faces, half, 3. Means A is to B will be 7 by 8 is to 3. Multiply both by 8. 7 is to 24. Means formula will be A7 B24. Now let me see how many of you have given me correct answers. Many correct answers. So it means many students have got the idea. Mac, Geeta, Shivangi, Shashwat, Reena, Mahani, Ashi, Vandana, Sudipta. Correct. Good. Now don't hesitate if you didn't get it. If there is any problem, let me know. Okay? And go through the previous recording. Okay, recordings are available on website. So a new section has been created within the chapter solid state. and you click that and new page will open with all the recordings. So if you have any problem, revisit. Okay? Yes, Dev, I'm explaining it. Okay. So normally what happens that you have it is written A are at corners. So normally you have A on all corners. But according to question, it is missing at one corner. It's not there. On this corner, it's not there. So if it would have been there, then we say contribution is 8 corners and at one corner 1/8, that is 1. But here we have only 7 corners where atoms are present. So it will not be 1, rather it will be 7/8. So contribution of A is just 7/8. Contribution of B is for face center, means B are present on all faces. So if I see here, left, right, top, bottom, front, back, all 6 faces, but contribution at face is half. So B will be 6 faces and contribution of each half, that is 3. So A contribution atom 7/8, B 3. So ratio will be 7/8 is to 3. A is to B. Now this is not the simplest ratio. You can't have an atom as 7/8. So you multiply by 8, both. Okay. So you multiply 7/8 you get 7. You multiply 3/8, you get 24. It means formula will be A7, B24. Next question. Calculate the approximate number of unit cells present in 1 gram of gold, given that gold crystallizes in FCC, face-centered cubic lattice. Atomic mass of gold is given. How to tackle such questions? You have been asked to calculate the number of unit cells. So right on the right hand side, you need unit cells. What is given? Mass of gold. From here, you know that in FCC, the total contribution is 4 atoms. In one cell, total contribution is 4 atoms because from corner 1 and from faces 3. Total 4 atoms. So from mass, if you can calculate the number of atoms in that mass, you divide that by 4, you will get unit cells. One unit cell has 4 atoms, so 4 atoms will make one unit cell. So number of atoms divided by 4 will give you unit cells. And you know how to calculate the number of atoms because you know that molar mass, this one, 197 grams of AU will have 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms. Hence, 1 gram of AU will have gold 6.022 into 10 power 23 divided by 197 atoms. These many atoms, divide these by 4, you will get unit cell. It means 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 divided by 197 divided by 4. Divided by 4 will actually be multiplied by 4 in the denominator. These many unit cells. Is that clear? Basically, we have used mole concept here. Okay, good, Divya, Archie. Suhani, yes, that is the correct answer. Okay, good. Good. So basically what we will write, we will say 1 mole of gold equals to 197 grams because the atomic mass of AU is 197 U. It means 197 gram will be equal to 1 mole. It will have 6.022 into 10 power 23 atoms. Number of atoms present in 1 gram of gold by unitary method, this many. Then divide by 4. Number of unit cells, 7.64 into 10 power 20. Tomorrow I'll enable an assignment where you will have these type of questions to understand the concept. And if there is any point you are not able to understand, go through the recording again. Now packing efficiency. Packing efficiency is very easy concept. Suppose you have a carton or any vessel, etc. And this is packed half, half packed. Means half of its volume is filled with sand. So we will say it is 50% packed because packed will be how much is sand's volume divided by total volume, and then we will multiply it by 100 if we want percentage. So the same thing we will be doing here also. Here we will be saying that whatever is the contribution, so effectively understand, effectively in just simple cubic cell where all the atoms are at the corner. Okay. I'm not drawing the diagram okay, very clearly. I'll show you. Okay. So at the corner, effectively we say that these contribute equal to one atom inside us. It is not body centered. I have shown one atom inside just to show you that effectively it is one atom is inside because 8 into 1 by 8 contribution from corners will be one atom. So effectively within the unit cell there is one atom. So we can say that packing efficiency in this case, volume of one atom divided by total volume. Total volume means volume of unit cell into 100. Is that clear? Packing efficiency is how much is filled. Okay. Otherwise, everything is empty. But one atom is there, which is solid. So if you can understand this thing, we can calculate packing efficiency, whether it is simple cubic, whether it is body centered, face centered, end centered, whatever. Okay. HCP, CCP are same. So that's what we are going to do. For that, first we need to understand the diagram. For representation perspective, yes, we show these as very small points, okay, nodes. But in reality, if it is unit cell, all the atoms will be adjacent to or touching one another. If you remember, basically we had one dimensional lattice, then two dimensional lattice where all the atoms are one over the other. Okay, then we had 3D structure where one layer was over the other. So all the atoms are in contact. So in simple cubic, all the atoms are in contact with one another. And if we see the cross-sectional view, just exactly the cube, then each corner has 1 by 8 contribution. Each corner has 1 by 8 contribution. But here you can note that if we consider r as the radius of the atom, if r is the radius of the atom, then the edge length of the cube, say if it is a, it will be 2r because all the atoms are adjacent or touching one another. The edge length of the cube a will be equal to twice the radius of the atom. Is that clear? We need to understand that, otherwise we won't be able to cancel the radius or edge and get the packing efficiency. So good. So if you are able to understand this, you know the total volume The A cube, it's just a cube. So volume of cubic cell will be A cube, and volume of one atom. Why I'm calculating of one atom? Because effectively we say that if it is just at corners, the atoms are at corners, the effective contribution is one atom. Will be 4 by 3 pi r cube. You know the volume of sphere. Volume of sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. R is radius of the sphere. And we know the relationship also. A is equal to 2r. So substitute here. 2r whole cube. 2 cube is 8r cube. Now we can apply the formula. The formula of packing efficiency will be volume occupied by atoms divided by total volume into 100. So packing efficiency will be volume of the atom, means 4 by 3 pi r cube, divided by total volume 8 r cube into 100. Now this r cube gets cancelled, and when you simplify, you get 52.4%. So in simple cubic cell, you need to remember, sometimes it appears like this also in objective type questions. 5 by 6. 5 by 6 is just a fraction. Okay. 5 by 6 into 100 will be packing efficiency in percentage, 52.4. You need to remember these values. Sometimes these values are asked just as objective type questions. Yes, Shashwat, approximately correct. Yastika, yes. If you see the front view, okay, just see the front view or any side view. Atoms are not good at drawing, but will be like this. Like this. Okay. So basically the radius of the atom is r, and this total length is a, edge length of the cell A. So it means A is equal to twice the R plus R. Is that clear now? R plus R is equal to A. So that's why I said A is equal to 2R. Okay. Why we needed that? Because we have to, if we just write 4 by 3 pi r cube is the space occupied by atom, divided by A cube, means the volume of the cubic cell, then we won't get answer, because A and R cannot be calculated. We have to get A in terms of R. So 2R whole cube means 8R cube, and we get 52.4%. Yes, Preeta. I'm going to talk about that radius. In that case, the relationship between A and R will be different. Okay? In simple cubic, A is equal to 2R. And you need to remember these values. A is equal to 2R in simple cubic. This relationship between the edge length and radius is different in body centered and face centered. Questions will be there on these relationships also, apart from the packing efficiency. Why I am insisting that you understand first here that how we got A equals to 2R, because if you don't get this one, you will not be able to understand the body centered or face centered. Okay. Now packing efficiency in face centered cubic. This one is slightly trickier than the simple cubic. Then body centered is even trickier than this one. So understand this one. Now see just one side view. This view, if you draw this view, okay, this view will look like you have one atom at the face in the center. Then you have one atom here, one atom here. Now these atoms will not be touching, the corner atoms will not be touching each other. Why these not be touching? Because this face atom is there on the face. Obviously its contribution will be half, okay, but it is on the face. So that's why it keeps these atoms apart. So now these atoms do not touch. But still we can get the relationship between A and R. If you see here, if you draw this diagram, okay, then this is R, this is R, this is R, this is R. So say it is the A, B, C, D. So AC is equal to 4R. And you know edge length A. Apply Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem says AC square will be A square plus A square. You are applying Pythagoras theorem on this 90-degree angle. It means AC will be A root 2. AC will be A root 2. Equate these two. A root 2 equals to 4R. A equals to 4R by root 2 means 2 root 2R. 4 you can write 2 into 2. Okay, 2 you can write root 2 into root 2 divided by root 2. Root 2 got cancelled. You got 2 root 2 R. So in case of face-centered cubic, the relationship you must remember A equals to 2 root 2 R. Yes, sure, correct. So AC is 4R and you got relationship. Either you write A equals to 4 by root 2 R, it is actually 2 root 2 R. Okay. The moment you got the relationship, now applies the same formula. Packing efficiency is equal to space occupied by atoms divided by total volume. This space means volume. Okay, just writing volume. Total volume of the unit cell in 200 in percentage. Now in face centered cubic, you have total 4 atoms. You know that 1 plus 3. It means it will be 4 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. One atom will have volume 4 by 3 pi r cube. 4 atoms will have 4 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. But unit cell volume A cube. Obviously, A is different from the simple cubic, but A cube. And we know that A is equal to 2 root 2R. So substitute that value 2 root 2R whole cube. So 2 cube will be 8, 2 root 2 cube will be 2 root 2 means 16 root 2 R cube. R cube got cancelled. 16 got cancelled. So it will be just pi by 3, I think, root into 100. When you solve it, you will actually get 74%. Okay? Whether you write pi root 2 by 6 or you write pi by 3 root 2, it is same thing. Yes, sure. Asking in 1 mark. Correct. Any confusion? Let me know. So this is the volume of the atoms which are effectively present in the unit cell. That is 4 atoms. This is the volume of unit cell A cube. So either you write 32 by root 2 r cube, it is same thing as 16 root 2 r cube. The closed cubic packing is same as face centered cubic packing. Remember, CCP is equal to FCC. So packing efficiency in case of CCP or FCC, 74%. CCP and HCP are equally efficient. So you can say in efficiency, CCP equals to HCP, again 74%. And these things you need to remember. CCP equals to FCC equals to HCP. Efficiency wise, they are same. You don't need to go into much details of the structure. Never ever questions will be asked from there. Um, they were, yes, Vanna, correct. 74% is packing efficiency means 26% void space. Yes, correct. Um, PE of simple cube is root 2 times that of PE of face centered cubic. Yes, Dipe, you are correct. Yeah, correct. So if you see in simple cubic, it was pi by 6. Here it is pi by 3 root 2, okay, which is actually you can say pi root 2 by 6. So packing efficiency of HCP or CCP or FCP is root 2 times packing efficiency of simple cubic. Next, packing efficiency in body-centered cubic structure. This one is slightly trickier because you will have to visualize it in 3D. Okay. So it is like this. Now the atom is inside. This atom is inside, and you visualize it in 3D, it will look like this. And moreover, the atoms which are touching are in this fashion, or you say this, this fashion. Okay. So if this is the front corner, this is the rear. Okay. It is front, right, bottom corner. This one is rear, left, top corner. Means they are diagonally opposite. So if you are sitting in a room, diagonally opposite corners you can consider, and consider the room as a cube. So in that case, if you see this, if you name it as A, this one is B, C, D like here, then AD basically will be equal to 4R. AD will be 4R because here it will be R of this, R of this, and this will be 2R, the diameter. If you can visualize up to here, then I can move forward. Yes, Shashwat. Yes, sir. Okay. Now, how you can get AD in terms of edge length? You can get AD in terms of edge length. This AD, you can apply Pythagoras theorem between AC and CD. CD you know is A. AC you can get as Pythagoras theorem of this 90-degree angle. It will be A root 2. AC square will be, if I take this one as A, B, C, D, say this one is B. Okay. So AC square will be AB square A plus BC square, means A square plus A square means 2A square. AC will be A root. So now if I have AC, I can calculate AD square. AD square will be AC square plus CD square. Visualize it. AD square, this one will be equal to AC square, Pythagoras theorem, plus CD square. Means it will be AC square is A root 2 whole square, CD is A. AD square you got as 2A square plus A square, that is 3A square, means AD equals to A root 3. But AD you know is 4R, so equate it. 4R is equal to A root 3, means A equals to 4R by root 3. So again you got A in terms of R, and apply the same rule. In case of body center, the contribution is 2. One from corner, one from body. 1 plus 1, 2. So if you know that, you can apply it. This one, that packing efficiency will be volume of two atoms, because effectively in BCC body centered cubic, you have two atoms. So it is 4 into 4 by 3 pi r cube, which has given you 8 by 3 pi r cube, divided by A cube, and A is 4R by root 3 whole cube, means 4 cube 64 and 3 cube 3 root 3, 64 r cube by 3 root 3. When you take into multiplication, it will be 3 root 3 upon 64 r cube. Okay. 3 got cancelled. Okay. 4 4 are 16, 4 are 64, R cube got cancelled, means pi root 3 by 4 into 100. First, so when you solve it, you get 4. Why it is coming? Just let me check. Where is the calculation mistake? 8 by 3 pi r cube divided by 64 r cube by 3 root 3. It will be into, okay, it was 8, not 16. Okay, that's why. It will be 3 root 3 divided by 64 r r cube got cancelled, 3 got cancelled, 8 8 the means pi root 3 by 8 into 100%. When you solve it, it will be 68%. Yes, Shivangi. She calculation correct. Good. So effectively, you can find the relationship between the edge length and the radius of the atom. Then you can easily find the packing efficiency, because you know in simple cubic it is just one atom. In face centered it is 4 atoms. In body centered you have 2 atoms. Next is sizes of tetrahedral and octahedral voids. From here also, the questions appear in JEE and NEET also. So this is important topic, and this is just you need to remember the formula. If R is the radius of the spheres in the closed packed arrangement, capital R. Capital R is the radius of the spheres in closed pack arrangement. Then the radius lowercase r of the tetrahedral void will be 0.225 of capital R. You need to remember these relationships. Now, when we say radius of tetrahedral void, it does not mean that tetrahedral void is spherical. It is radius of maximum radius rather. Maximum radius of atom or ion which can be accommodated in tetrahedral void. So it is actually radius of that ion, not of tetrahedral itself. Similarly, radius of octahedral void will be 0.414 r. Means the maximum radius of the ion which can be there in octahedral will be 0.414 of the radius of the atom. Atoms which are forming the lattice. Now, normally we talk about in case of ionic compound. Lattices are formed in case of ionic compound normally. So we write these formulas as R plus is equal to 0.225 R minus. Why? Because I told you that normally the voids are occupied by cations. Because normally voids are occupied by cations in ionic compounds. And lattice is formed by anions. So capital R has been written as R minus. The formula is same. Instead of writing lowercase r equals to 0.225 capital R, we write r plus equals to 0.225 r minus. Similarly, for octahedral voids, r plus equals to 0.414 r minus. Remember, these radius are r plus. These are the radius of the cations, maximum radius of cations, which can be there in tetrahedral voids or octahedral voids, formed by atoms or anions having radius r minus. NaCl has octahedral structure, and in questions, many a times you won't be given. And there will be some question that there is a lattice having NaCl type structure. So if the question says that lattice has NaCl type structure, so you need to remember it means we are talking about octahedral voids. There will be octahedral voids. And for octahedral voids, you know R plus is equal to 0.414 R minus. Sometimes A and B are included if it is written that B form the lattice and A atoms are in the voids. Then it is written like this also. This is something I told you. It gives you maximum possible radius of anion for a given cation for closed package. Now the question. A solid A plus B minus means it is ionic solid. Has NaCl type closed pack structure. Now I told you few minutes back, few seconds back rather, if it says NaCl type closed pack structure, what you need to understand from it. Tell me in the chat box. Yes, same thing. Mehak, okay. However, one thing you are missing, okay? Shivangi has given me correct answer. Preeta has given me complete correct answer. Okay, Shivangi and Preeta. Arohi correct, but it's not actually octahedral structure. It is octahedral void. So don't say octahedral structure. It means these will have octahedral voids. Yes, Sudeepta, correct. Ashiki. Next, if the anion has a radius of this one, means R minus is given 241.5 picometer. What should be the ideal radius of the cation? So you know for cation, it is 0.414 R minus. Substitute the value of R minus and get the answer. So first part, simple. Substitute the value, get the answer. Now the second part. So you got 100 picometer is the maximum radius which can be there in octahedral voids. Okay, the cations can have maximum radius of 100 picometer. Now, second part. Can a cation C plus having radius of 60 picometer be fitted into the tetrahedral hole of the crystal A plus B minus? Tell me the answer yes or no. Rita, wrong. If we're wrong. Tell me the reason also. Rita and Devya, tell me the reason. Mehak, no. Preeta, no. Now read the question carefully. It is not asking in octahedral void, it is asking in tetrahedral void. You calculated maximum radius in octahedral void. In tetrahedral void, R plus will be just 0.225, 0.225 of 241.5. Yeah. Now 25 into 25 gives you 625. Means it is something 600 if I consider slightly greater. But 24 multiplied by 22 will be less than 600 or 60. You can say 60 picometer. So if you calculate this one for tetrahedral void, it will be 54.3 picometer only, the maximum radius. It means 60 picometer cannot be accommodated. Okay. So this is not related to this question. Now, why it is written here? Because I intentionally changed this question from NCRT. In NCRT, the question is, can a cation C plus having radius 50 picometer be fitted into tetrahedral hole? Now, even if students give answer based on 100 picometer, the answer is correct, yes, because 50 meter can be fitted in 54.3 also, 100 picometer also. So answer will be always yes, whether you consider octahedral void or tetrahedral void. So even if you make a mistake and consider it octahedral void, your answer will be yes, which will be correct if you take 50 picometer. So that's why I have changed it to 60 picometer. So remember, if you get exact question as given in NCRT, then answer will be yes, because 50 picometer can be fitted into 54.3 picometer. But if the question is different, you have to be careful whether the question is talking about octahedral void or tetrahedral void. Just to explain that, I have changed the question. Okay, Sudipta. What I am saying, second part of the question here is, can a cation C plus having radius 60 picometer? So there is a cation and its radius is 60 picometer. Can it be fitted into tetrahedral void of this lattice A plus V minus? So there are always octahedral voids and tetrahedral voids. But if cation is greater than tetrahedral void, it goes to octahedral void. Otherwise, it stays in tetrahedral void. So for that, you need to calculate the radius of tetrahedral void. So for tetrahedral void, radius of the cation, maximum radius of the cation which can be there is given by 0.225 R minus. So it will be 0.225 into 241.5. It is given R minus radius of the anion picometer, which comes out to be 54.3 picometer. Now, this is the maximum radius of cation which can be there in tetrahedral void, but C plus has a radius of 60 picometer. So it cannot fit in 54.3 picometer space. Is that clear now? But suppose if there is any other value given, suppose instead of 60 picometer, it is given 50 picometer, then you will write yes. If this is 50 picometer, it can fit. It can fit in 54.3 picometer space. So yes, it can fit in tetrahedral void, but 60 picometer will not. density of the unit cell. So this is just a formula you need to remember. Sometimes derivation is asked, although CBSE has clearly given the guidelines that derivations should not be asked, but this derivation somehow appears. Okay. So mass of the unit cell is equal to number of atoms in unit cell into mass of each atom. This is something very basic math. If mass of one atom is x, then mass of n atoms will be nx. So that's what is written here. Number of atoms n and mass of each atom x. So mass of total unit cell will be number of atoms and mass of each atom. Mass of unit cell, number of atoms in unit cell is denoted by Z, and mass of each atom is denoted by M. These are the conventions you need to remember. Sometimes in the questions, it is just written that Z is equal to 4. It means it is face-centered cubic cell. If Z is 4, it means contribution, total contribution from corner plus faces is 4. 1 plus 3, 4. So where Z is the number of atoms present in one unit cell and M is the mass of the single atom. Then mass of an atom present in unit cell is given by its molar mass divided by Na. Why? Because if I write the molar mass, say I am talking about hydrogen, it will be 2 for H2. And in 2 grams, how many atoms will be there? 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. Means if I write 1 mole of H2 in numbers equals to 1 mole of H2 in grams. Both will be equal. 1 mole equals to 1 mole. But 1 mole of H2 in numbers will be 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 molecules. And 1 mole of H2 in grams will be 2 grams. So it means if I want to calculate mass of one molecule, it will be 2 divided by this. But if I am talking about atoms, it will be 1 mole of A in number, 1 mole of A in grams. So whatever is here, 1 mole of A in grams will be equal to molar mass, 1 mole of A in gram, molar mass, divided by 6.022 into 10 power 3. That will be the mass of one atom. Why? Because you will say mass of 6.022 into 10 power 23 atoms will be equal to molar mass in grams. Hence, mass of one atom will be molar mass in grams divided by 6.022 into 10 power 23. I'm just applying unitary method, and 6.022 into 10 power 23 is Na. So from there, we got that mass of one atom is equal to M divided by Na. Where M is molar mass or atomic mass in this case, because we are talking about atoms. So instead of molar mass, you can say atomic mass. Then density of unit cell is equal to mass of unit cell divided by volume of unit cell. This is something you know, density is equal to mass over volume. So you are asked to calculate density. Density will be mass of whole unit cell divided by volume of unit cell. Mass of whole unit cell will be Z into M, which you have calculated here. Mass of one unit cell, Z into M. Substitute that value. And volume of unit cell is A cube. Then this M you substitute from here, capital M divided by Na. So effectively you got density equals to Z into molar mass divided by a cube into n. You need to memorize this formula. Direct formula based questions will be asked. There is rare possibility that derivation can be asked, very rare possibility, but numericals are very common based on direct formula. To understand each term, D is density, Z number of atoms in unit cell. Means if it is simple cubic, Z will be 1. If it is body centered, 2. Face centered, 4. Hand centered, again 2, 1 plus 1. A is edge length, means side of the cube. Na, you know, Avogadro number. M is molar mass of the compound we are talking about. To memorize this formula, write down. Now the question. An element has body-centered cubic BCC structure with cell edge equals to 288 picometer. Now, one more thing. It is given picometer. In this formula, you need to understand the edge length is in centimeter. So this is something you need to remember. It is in centimeter. Okay. So edge length A is given 288 picometer, and you know that 1 picometer is equal to 10 to the power minus 12 meter, and 10 to the 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter, 10 to the power 2 centimeter. So effectively, I got 288 into 10 to the power minus 10 centimeter. Okay. The density of the element is 7.2 gram per centimeter cube. Why it is in centimeter? Because the other units, for example, density is in gram per centimeter cube. So that's why edge length is also in centimeter. Density is given 7.2 gram per ml or gram per centimeter cube, same thing, gram per cc, same thing. How many atoms are present in 208 grams? M is equal to 208 grams of the element. You need to calculate the number of atoms. Number of atoms present in 208 grams of element. Now the question is very simple if you understand. Because you know if it is BCC, the value of Z will be 2. The value of Z will be 2. And effectively, you can calculate molar mass. Okay. Other way around, you can calculate the volume. 288 picometer, 288 into 10 power minus 12 meter, that is 288 into 10 power minus 10 centimeter whole cube. So this is the volume. Volume of 208 grams of element, you know the density, you got the volume of 208 gram of the element. There are two ways, okay? I'll tell you both the ways. First, I'm telling you this way, and then the other way. So what you did, you calculated the volume of the given quantity. Then the number of unit cell in this volume will be this volume divided by volume of one unit cell, and volume of one unit cell will be A cube, and A you know is A cube is 2.39 into 10 power minus 23. A cube you have already calculated. So this is like, for example, you have done, you know, in you have been doing these type of questions in I think from sixth grade, seventh grade. If we have to calculate the number of tiles, for example, these are the tiles, one, two, three, four, etc. What you do? You do total area divided by area of one tile. That's what you do. Number of tiles will be total area divided by area of one tile. Similarly, you did here. Number of unit cells, total volume divided by volume of one unit cell. Total volume divided by volume of one unit cell. You got the number of unit cells. All the units. Ashi, let me see. Yes, that is the second method, Ashi. Correct. Yeah. There is another way to do it. The other way to do it, and you can do it, after the class. From the given information, you can calculate the molar mass. D is equal to Z M A cube Na. Okay, 7.2 equals to Z body center 2 into M divided by A, 288 into 10 to the power minus 10 whole cube into 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. From here you can get molar mass M. Okay. In this molar mass, how many atoms will be there? Whatever, say it comes out to be X. Okay, X. So it means in X grams there will be 6.022 into 10 power 23 atoms. That is 6.022 into 10 power 23 divided by 2 unit cells in X grams. Whatever is the molar mass calculated here. Why? Because molar mass will have Na particles. But because it is BCC, body centered cubic, but two atoms will make one unit cell. So that's why for to get unit cell, you will divide it by two. Number of atoms will be divided by two. These many unit cell. So if we know that X grams, whatever you got, these have these many unit cell, apply unitary method to get in. Hence, in 208 grams, how much? That will be the answer. You need to apply unitary method. Is that clear? And try it and see whether you get the same answer from both the methods or not. Next, X-ray diffraction studies show that copper crystallizes in FCC unit cell. Face-centered cubic, you know that value of Z will be 4. With cell edge equals to 3.608 into 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. It's already given in centimeter. In a separate experiment, copper is determined to have density equals to this much. So density is 8.92 gram per centimeter cube. Calculate the atomic mass. So you will apply D equals to Z into capital M divided by A cube into Na. Everything is given except capital M, that is the molar mass or atomic mass. D is given, Z is given, A is given, Na you know. So you will get the answer as M equals to D into A cube into Na divided by Z. Substitute the values, get the answer. DNAQ by Z. When you substitute the values, you will get 63.1 gram per mole.